it seemed like the right thing to do.
About the music, what's about the music? You made hard rock today. Will you make in the future perhaps experiments?
Not really, it's just going to be English rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
It's coincidental that we were in the same band together before. Do you know what I mean? The reason that Lordy's in the band now is because he's the Governor keyboard player. We went through a succession of tosses, which just didn't cut it. You know, you turn around and go, come on! You know, the organ solo, and the guy had shit. You know, jump back. We tried, like a lot of name people, who just didn't have that sort of, excuse the vernacular, up front. You know, look at me, I'm a fucking good player, you know.
Well, it comes down to experience, man.
Yeah, well, of course, no, but the thing is, like, we tried a lot of people who were experienced, let me tell you, you know, and it just wasn't there. I mean, that fire, you know what I mean, the hunger wasn't there.
When Dave asked me to join this band, that I had the chance to really play the way I've always wanted to play. Whereas in Purple, it was either totally one thing, which is soloing like a mad mother, or being a rhythm guitarist with keyboard shaped. And that was fine for Purple. It was a big part of the sound, you know, and everything. This band gives me much more chance to just be free in the way I play, and that which puts both those things together for me.
John Lord joined for the Trouble album, and as a keyboard player in Deep Purple, that really added credibility to Whitesnake. It really helped. He was a popular figure with the audiences. He's a great musician. He seemed to fit into this sort of persona that Whitesnake were having of a bit of a kind of a gentleman's drinking club, and John Lord kind of slotted into that quite nicely.
John Lord brought many things to Whitesnake. Tremendous moustache, nice waistcoats, but a bit of gravitas as well, because ex-Deep Purple, that kind of, you know, certainly showed that this was quite a serious band, an all-star band beginning to develop, which is definitely the way that Whitesnake would develop in the future years.
There were people who would come because David had been in Purple, so we got the help from that, from the past. Like I said, a few wrongs to our credit, but it doesn't mean to say we don't have to work, and it doesn't mean to say we can take it all with a pinch of salt and say, oh, well, you know, the past will come through, and we'll, you know, and the fact that we are really desperately trying to ignore, in terms of talking about the band, what credentials any single member of the band might have. I mean, in fact, we could just as truthfully and honestly and rightly for the band talk about Neil's credentials as being important musically.
He's got huge.
Yeah.
What John Lord brought in was a great stylistic pedigree. He was a great keyboard player who could fit in to either the classical approach, the bombastic approach, or in Whitesnake's case, to a much more blues rock feel. And you listen to what he did in Trouble, and immediately it was an enormous raising of the bar.
Mick Moody, Dave Stoll, Bernie Marston, Neil Murray, John Lord und David Coverdale, Whitesnake mit Lie Down.
The Trouble album cost $20,000 altogether, artwork and everything. We just recorded so quickly and caught it all. That was 5 tracks in one night, remember? But it's so refreshing to get that hunger down, you know what I mean? Everyone's burning to do it, which is good, you know. It's a great feeling. At the end of Purple, it was like, shall we do it, you know, whatever. And the hunger doesn't come across. Good tunes, though, you know. Good, and the playing has always been excellent. But the real heart and that desperation to fucking impress, do you know what I mean, or project. It just wasn't there anymore.
Come on, girl, it'll be alright. Easy does it, not slow. You know, mama, that tonight's the night. Come on and let you feel it show. Take a look in the mirror. Tell me what you see. Now, if it ain't sweet surrender, you can blame it on somebody, not the devil in me.
What they did is they developed that slightly tongue-in-cheek, heavy blues sort of rock groove that they had. Mickey Moody and Bernie Marsden, the guitar players, were collaborating with Coverdale on this, and they brought a lot to the table. They were the perfect partnership for Coverdale at this time.
Although Bernie Marsden is underrated in terms of what he gave to Whitesnake, his writing partnership with David Coverdale wasn't prolific, but when it did actually score, it scored big time.
The fact of having these two particular guitarists makes it so different from Purple for me. Like, not if you, even if you had one guitar player, you would always be compared to Ritchie. The fact that we got two makes it much more different to start with. But the personalities of Bernie and Mickey put it on such a completely different level that it's not your sort of posy heavy metal guitar rock hero thing, which, you know, I feel is a bit overdone. It's much more like Mickey has his own personality, Bernie has his personality, and they work together and separately. And it's not so much, well, here's another rock band, and they've got a keyboard player, and they've got the guitarist.
In Purple, we had a star guitarist. In this one, we've got a banker and a drunk.
Going to feature a good friend of ours now. Going to play slide guitar for you. Sorry? Mickey Moody. A song called
Coverdale believed that Mickey Moody had the makings of a world-class slide guitarist, if not the best slide guitarist in the world, and he wanted Mickey Moody to be recognized as such within Whitesnake.
I need a woman to treat me good, give me everything that a good woman should. Every day and every night, she be waiting on a brown-eyed boy. Treat her right, I'm a lover to baby, sneaking up on you. I'm a lover to baby, sneaking up on you. I'm gonna give you my love, and use my turn.
Yes, on the Love Hunter album, that was when Mickey Moody and Bernie Marsden and David really got settled into a real groove about what they were going to do, and definitely the writing was a lot stronger, and the cover was a little bit cheeky.
Well, Love Hunter album sleeve is quite sexist simply because it has a woman clad in very little riding a writhing snake.
Do you think it is?
Me? Didn't bother me, I'm not a woman.
I mean, did it bother anyone?
Well, yes, yeah, feminists. I wouldn't have thought it's in Jermaine Greer's record collection.
It was sort of saying to people, don't be quite so po-faced, and, you know, yes, we're getting up the feminists' noses, but it has tended to be the case that if you tell David, don't do something, he'll do it more. Or let's see how we can really do something that's going to annoy people that don't like the band, and the ones who do like the band will think it's great, or, you know, they will just accept it.
It created at the time, it's perfect Spinal Tap, you know, it's a fine line between sexy and sexist. This was the whole thing. Coverdale was always unrepentant about it. He never apologised, he just brazened it out.
It's hot enough to boil a monkey's arse up here, Your Majesty. We're going to, there's somebody fondling a woman down here. Could you throw her up here when you're finished? Very nice.
Can't you feel the love in this heart of mine?